Let me ask you a question. Have you ever done everything right, followed the advice, built good habits, worked on yourself, and still felt stuck? Maybe you wake up early. Maybe you exercise regularly, read books, save money, keep your inbox at zero, avoid junk food, say yes to opportunities, and try to be kind to everyone. But deep down, you feel tired. Or maybe you feel anxious, or like your progress in life is just underwhelming. It's not that you're lazy. It's not that you lack discipline or ambition. In fact, you might be doing too much of the right things, so much so that the right things start becoming problems. Here's the truth no one talks about. Not all good habits are good for you. At least not all the time, not in every context, and not to every degree. Some habits that look productive or healthy on the surface can quietly sabotage your well-being, your relationships, and your happiness if you're not careful. If you've ever wondered why you feel exhausted or why your life feels like a checklist that never ends, this video is for you. Today, we're exposing the hidden side of good habits. 7 good habits that could be quietly messing you up. Some will surprise you. Some might even make you a little defensive. But if you recognize even one of them in your life, it might be the missing piece that finally helps you break free. So get comfortable, grab a drink, and let's dive in. Let's start with what might be the sneakiest of all, the obsession with productivity. You probably hear it everywhere. Be productive. Make every minute count. Don't waste time. So you optimize your morning routine, batch your tasks, time block your calendar, and fill every gap in your day with something useful. And for a while, you feel powerful. But then something strange happens. Your life starts to feel like an endless assembly line. Every free moment is filled. If you sit still for 5 minutes, you feel guilty. If you watch a movie, you have to fold laundry at the same time. If you go for a walk, you listen to a podcast at double speed, just to maximize your output. You become a machine. But you're not a machine. The productivity trap turns life into a relentless sprint. You end up exhausted, anxious, and weirdly unfulfilled. You see, true productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters. You want to be helpful. You want to be agreeable. You say yes to invitations, extra work, family favors, volunteering, and last-minute requests. After all, isn't being generous a good thing? But here's the catch. If you say yes to everything, you end up saying no to yourself. Your schedule fills up with other people's priorities. You feel overwhelmed, but you don't want to disappoint anyone. Eventually, resentment builds. You start to feel invisible. Or worse, you start to lose track of your own goals and needs. The habit of always saying yes is rooted in kindness. But kindness without boundaries leads to burnout. Real life scenario. You agree to help a friend move on your only free weekend. You stay late at work to cover for a colleague, even though you're exhausted. You join committees, projects, group chats, book clubs, until your calendar looks like a game of Tetris. And the cost? Time for yourself, your family, your own dreams. What to do instead? Practice saying, "Let me think about it," before agreeing. Decide your top priorities for the week and protect them. Understand that saying no isn't selfish. It's self-respect. This might sound odd coming from a channel about growth, but hear me out. There is such a thing as too much self-improvement. Maybe you have a shelf full of self-help books. Maybe you subscribe to newsletters, podcasts, YouTube channels like this one, and you're always looking for the next hack, strategy, or routine. At some point, it becomes a compulsion, a belief that you are never enough unless you're constantly upgrading. Symptoms: you can't relax unless you're working on yourself. Every hobby becomes a project to optimize. Meditation becomes another item on the to-do list. You measure your worth by your progress. But self-improvement, when taken to the extreme, is just another form of self-criticism. It tells you that who you are right now isn't good enough. Example: you decide to try journaling, reading 30 minutes a day, cold showers, a new fitness routine, and meal prepping all at once. You burn out in a week. Or you become obsessed with fixing yourself but never feel fixed. What to do instead? Focus on one small change at a time. Accept that growth happens in cycles and that rest and play are as important as progress. Remind yourself, I'm a work in progress, not a project to be completed. Not all good habits stay good forever. Sometimes, what starts as a healthy routine can become a prison. Let's talk about balance. Eating clean, exercising daily, going to bed early, tracking. Example: you're invited out for pizza, but you say no because it's not clean. You start to fear missing a day, so you double down and add even more rules. Instead of freeing you, your habits start to control you. What to do instead? Embrace flexibility. Aim for consistency, not perfection. Remember, habits are tools, not chains. Missing a day won't ruin your progress, but obsessing over perfection might. You've probably heard, just think positive. Look on the bright side. Don't worry, be happy. There's nothing wrong with optimism, but forced positivity, denying negative emotions, pretending everything's great when it's not, can be quietly harmful. Here's why. Ignoring real problems doesn't make them go away. Bottling up sadness, anger, or fear only makes them grow. If you judge yourself for feeling bad, you create a second layer of suffering. Signs of toxic positivity. You feel guilty for feeling down. You hide your struggles from others. You dismiss your own pain. Other people have it worse. You push others to cheer up instead of listening. Example: a friend confides they're struggling, and you reply, "Don't worry, just stay positive." It sounds supportive, but it actually shuts down their real feelings. What to do instead? Allow yourself to feel the full range of emotions. Validate your own and others' struggles. Practice realistic optimism. Look for solutions, but don't deny the truth. Always being reliable. Dependability is admirable, but if you're always the responsible one, the person who never lets anyone down, never drops the ball, never shows weakness, you set an impossible standard. You start carrying everyone's expectations. You become the emotional dumping ground, the backup plan, the fixer, the one who always has it together. And if you ever make a mistake, the guilt is overwhelming. Being reliable is great, But being too reliable can attract people who take advantage of your sense of duty. You might find yourself doing more than your share at work, in relationships, or in your family, until you're stretched thin. Example: your coworker forgets a deadline. You pick up the slack. A friend can't make rent. You lend them money. Again. Family drama? You're the peacemaker. What to do instead? Let others handle their own responsibilities sometimes. Practice saying, example: you leave a meeting and spend hours wondering if you said something wrong. You obsess over a mistake from last year as if you can fix it now. What to do instead? Limit reflection to a set time each day. Practice self-compassion. Ask, what can I learn? And what can I let go? Here's the real secret. Good habits are only good when they serve you. When habits become rigid, compulsive, or rooted in fear, they quietly undermine your happiness. The good life isn't built by doing everything right. It's built by knowing which habits to keep, which to adapt, and when to give yourself grace. So which of these good habits has quietly been messing you up? Take an honest look.